So we've already looked at solving linear equations with fractions in them, but we're now going to look at a different type of them. So here we've got a half x plus a third equals half x plus a half. Normally we'd look for the smallest x, but we don't want to start taking fractional x's away and it makes it more complicated. So an easier way of doing this is to find a common denominator. So you can see all the denominators are 2, 3, 4 and 2. And I can see straight away that those numbers all go into 12. So what I'm going to do is multiply each term by 12 because that's the common denominator. So I end up with 12 times half x plus, I'm going to put that in brackets just to separate them all, 12 times a third, which equals, and do try and keep your equals lined up, sorry I haven't got the space, which equals 12 times a quarter x plus 12 times a half. So now what I can do, and I'm assuming that you're confident in multiplying whole numbers and fractions, and if you're not, we've done that in a previous video, but I'm going to cancel these down. So 12 times a half x is 12 divided by 2 is just going to be 6, so that's the same as 6x. And then 12 and the 3 cancel down to give us plus 4. Because then we've got 4 times 1, which is 4. And then on this side, I've got the 12 and the 4, which cancel to give me 3. And then the x is 3x. And then here I've got 12 and 2 again, which is going to give me plus 6. So now I'm down to an equation with an x on both sides. So I just find my smallest x. So I've got 6x and 3x, it's going to be 3x. And I get rid of that. So if I subtract that from both sides, because I'm currently adding it, I get 6x plus 4 minus 3x. So I'm left with 3x plus 4. And then 3x plus 6 minus 3x leaves me with 6. Now I've got my 3 times x, and then I'm adding 4. So I want to get rid of the plus 4. How do I get rid of plus 4? Subtract 4. And I'll do that from both sides. So 3x plus 4 minus 4 is 3x. And 6 minus 4 is 2. Now I've got 3 x's and I only want the 1. So I'm currently multiplying by 3. So to get rid of that, I'm going to divide by 3. So 3x divided by 3. 3 is cancelled to give me 1, so that leaves me with 1x. And then on this side, I've got 2 divided by 3, which is a fraction in its simplest form. So my solution is x equals 2/3. Now if I go to this example, you can see that I've got fractions in the question again. So I've got half times x plus 1, and then minus 2, and we're taking away 2/3 times x minus 2, and that equals 2. So what I want to do, again, to get rid of the fractions, there are many ways of doing this. Some people might like to multiply out first. I think it's easier to get rid of my fractions. So to do that, I'm going to look for a common denominator. Now I know my 2 isn't a fraction because it's a whole number, but if I want to, I can just put it over 1 just to make it slightly clearer, but that's not necessary. So I've got 2 and a 3 and a 1. So what is my common denominator? It's going to be 6. So I'm going to multiply each term by 6. So, and again I'm going to have brackets on this. So 6 times a half times x plus 1. And then minus 6 times 2/3 brackets x plus x minus 2. Sorry. And then over here I'm going to have 6 times 2. So again, to cancel out the fraction, to get rid of the fractions, I'm just going to simplify. So 6 times 1 is 6 over 2. So 6 divided by 2 is just going to be 3. And then x plus 1. And then I'm taking away. Now here I've got 6 times 2. And if I simplify that, I get 12. And then I can cancel my 12 divided by 3 to give me 4. And then x minus 2. And then 6 times 2 is 12. So now I'm going to multiply out my brackets. So 3 times x and 3 times 1 is 3x plus 3. And then here we've got minus 4 times x and minus 4 times minus 2. So minus 4 times x is minus 4x. And minus 4 times minus 2 is plus 8. And that all equals 12. Now I'm going to collect my like terms. So I've got 3x and minus 4x. So 3x minus 4x is going to be minus x. And then I've got plus 3 and plus 8. So plus 3 and plus 8 is going to give me plus 11. And that equals 12. Now I've got a minus x, so that's minus 1 times x, and we're adding on 11. So I'm going to get rid of that 11 first. So to get rid of the plus 11, I subtract 11. Do that from both sides. So minus x plus 11 minus 11 is going to be just minus x. And then 12 minus 11 is 1. So now we remember in here we've got a 1, an invisible 1, because it's minus 1 times x. So how do I get rid of the minus 1? I'm going to divide by minus 1 and do that to both sides. So minus x divided by minus 1 is just going to give me x, because a minus divided by a minus is a plus or positive. And then on this side I've got 1 divided by minus 1, so I'll just rewrite that. So x equals, well, 1 divided by 1 is 1, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So my solution is x equals minus 1.
Okay, Mary, so let's have a look at this one. So solve x plus 2x equals 12. So what do you think you do first?
Okay, well, I want x on its own, so I would put x equals 12 minus 2x.
Okay, so a lot of the time we want to get x by itself, but what we want to do first is get all of these x's together. So can you see anything we can do with this? Get all these together in one place.
Oh, okay, it's 3x, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
3x equals 12. Oh, and so x equals 4.
Brilliant, spot on, well done.